All right. I'm actually going to be doing things in reverse order today just because what I have to talk about takes precedence. Well, I say it takes precedence, but I'd rather save it for, and that's actually my act of kindness. So, again, I'll do things in a rapid fire real quick. So, before I forget, good morning. Happy Sunday, everyone. Okay, so I'll just spitball these NFL picks real quick before I get into talking about what I want to talk about, as well as talk about Amphibia and the fact that One Piece reached 1,000 anime episodes last night. It's all really great. I'll talk about it in a minute. So, Ravens versus Bears, I'm picking the Ravens. Packers versus Vikings, I'm picking the Packers. Colts versus Bills, let's go Buffalo. Lions versus Browns. The Washington football team versus the Carolina Panthers. Carolina's been pretty good lately. I'll go with Carolina. The Texans and the Titans, I'm still picking the Titans. The 49ers and the Jaguars, the 49ers. They just beat the Rams. I'm picking the 49ers. Dolphins and Jets, Dolphins. Eagles and Saints. Bengals and Raiders, ooh. You know what? I want to do the autumn wind poem round, so let's go Raiders. Cowboys versus the Chiefs. I don't care if it's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is not Tom Brady. Go Cowboys. The Cardinals and the Seahawks. Cardinals. Full disclosure, the Eric Carmen of Corny that I've had a problem with lately, he's a Seahawks fan. So, go Cardinals. Steelers and Chargers. Yeah, I'll pick the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to make a bounce back today. And, right, so my picks are the Ravens, the Packers, the Bills, the Browns, the Panthers, the Titans, the 49ers, the Dolphins, the Saints, the Raiders, the Cowboys, the Cardinals, and the Chargers. So those are my picks, and, that's all there is to it. All right, now let me get into today's episode of Amphibia, which is episode 48. Another episode of two 11-minute segments, which was Hollywood Hot Pop and If You Give a Frog a Cookie. Now, Hollywood Hot Pop is an episode I really enjoyed because it further explored Hot Pop's wanting to, be an actor. And funny enough, he meets this one old guy who looks exactly like him, right? And before I continue, I just want to point out that Amphibia's had a pretty great cast of, a good voice cast. But this season, man, they are pulling out all the stops. Brad Garrett, Anika Noni Rose. Keith David is reprising his role as King Andreas, obviously. Wayne Knight. And literally for yesterday's episode, in this one, Wallace Shawn was the old guy who looks like Hot Pop. Like, Wallace Shawn, man. Like, inconceivable from The Princess Bride. And Rex from Toy Story. So, yes, always a delight to hear Wallace Shawn. He is awesome. He also had, a brief, he actually also voiced Eustace Bagg in that Fog of Courage thing from Courage the Cowardly Dog, which was sort of like the pseudo attempt to bring Courage back, which, listen, Wallace Shawn is awesome. He does get all the ladies, Anyway, right. So, basically, and Wallace Shawn's character is so awesome and so nice. He lets Hot Pop go in front of an audition thing, and Hot Pop gets the audition. And it's a commercial, which Mr. X sees, again, voiced by RuPaul. Again, this season's cast has been awesome. And they got to see Mr. X again. And so they're able to track Hot Pop because, remember, it's a Hollywood commercial. Everyone sees this. And Hot Pop even has a catchphrase. He's like, say what? It was hilarious. And so, basically, in the end, Hot Pop decides, you know what? He goes to Wallace Shawn's character. Listen, the only reason why I'm even successful now is because I'm where I'm at because of you. You should get in front of me. You should take this. So basically, Mr. X thinks he has Hop Up, but he gets Wallace Shawn's character instead. And, the day is saved, I guess. So, yeah, there you go. And then the second half is If You Give a Frog a Cookie, where it turns out that Dr. Jan, again, voiced by Nika Noni Rose, a Disney princess. Anyway, Dr. Jan says they may be lead to someone who may know a thing or two about, portals. Unfortunately, as it turns out, this person is crazy. Anne accidentally reveals to, Anne didn't really do anything. Basically, throughout the episode, the planners are trying to guilt Anne into doing stuff for him. And, basically they're doing the whole sad puppy dog eyes to, have their way or whatever. So, this Dr. Freaks, I think her name was, voiced by Cree Summer. Again, great voice cast. Man, I'm just going to be praising the voice cast all throughout this video, aren't I? Honestly, I hope I don't, because I have something really important to talk about. Anyway, she can only open up this one portal for 5 seconds. So I look into it, and it's not Amphibia. What was that place if it wasn't Amphibia? I get the feeling they may explore that later. Anyway, so basically, Dr. Freaks captures the planners, and, she wants to, dissect them, stuff like that. And Anne has to try and save them, which she does, with the help of, Dr. Freaks' assistant, who is voiced by Kate Micucci. Again, man, this cast is awesome. Seriously. So, basically they save the planners, and, Anne's like, you cost this woman her job. Actually, you know what? With what I learned from Dr. Freaks, I think the portal that we make is going to be better. So, yes, the Anne and the planners have another ally. It's awesome. And it's even cooler because she's voiced by Kate Micucci. Yeah, full disclosure, Kate Micucci is one of my all-time crushes, so it's Kate Micucci. She's awesome. Anyway, so this was a great episode. All in all. And it just occurred to me that next week they're going to have the holiday special, and I think that's when we're at the mid-season. I think they may actually wind up making the holiday episode next week, because obviously pretty much everything in Amphibia is canon. Even the shown episode, even though it was shown out of order, obviously. Because obviously everything is canon. And so it's pretty likely that this holiday special will be the mid-season finale next week. And then I saw this one YouTube video, I'm like, good Lord, they're going to end on a very depressing cliffhanger, aren't they? Oh, that's not a good way to have a holiday season. But whatever happens, I'm ready for it. Let's do this. So, the important thing I really want to get into today, outside of, talking about Amphibia and, my NFL picks, which I was going to do anyway, was the importance of my low, my high, my act of kindness last night. Now, before I move on, I want to give a major shout out to my mother and my father for what they did for me last night. Even more so for my mom, because today is my mother's birthday today. So happy birthday, Mom. I love you very much. Thank you for, what you did for me last night. And if you want to know what happened, here's the story. Now, my mom has been visiting her mother, my grandmother, out in Las Vegas, and she was going to be getting home at 10 o'clock last night. Now, because of what was going on, I had to be the one to pick her up from the airport. As you can imagine, me picking her up from the airport, grabbing her luggage, all that stuff, that was my act of kindness. There you go. That evening, my father, under normal circumstances, he would have been the one to get my mom. But my brother and his wife had to go to a Friendsgiving. For those who know, basically Friendsgiving is Thanksgiving, only it's more friends-oriented than friends and family. Anyway, so basically my brother and my sister-in-law had to go to, a Friendsgiving. And my father had to watch my nephews. And I had nothing really better to do. So after my father and I both went to church, we we saw my nephews. And we played with my nephews and stuff like that. Particularly because my twin nephews had to go to bed at like 6:30, and my other nephew, who's sorry, I didn't think I'd get emotional this early. My other nephew, who's just barely a couple months old, he goes to bed a little bit later because you gotta feed him and stuff. And because my father had to leave, church a little bit early, so he could get to my brother's house on time. So when I got there, I immediately am greeted to my brother obviously and my sister-in-law. And then I go up to the playroom where my father and my nephews are, my twin nephews. And okay. I've talked about this before, but I actually have depression. It's okay. I'm comfortable talking about this, and I'll explain more why in December. But I do have, I've been diagnosed with depression, and I have also talked about how I am seeing a therapist. One thing I've learned from talking to my therapist is emotions like depression or anger or anxiety, stuff like that, it doesn't ask for permission to come. They just do, right? So when I got to where my father and nephews were, I was greeted by literally the most beautiful, but also the saddest thing I have probably seen in years. Beautiful in the sense that it was basically my father having my twin nephews, in his lap, one pretty much in each arm. And he's reading him a story. Which, seriously, I wish I took a photo of that because it was just so beautiful. But the reason why it's sad, and granted, I have totally made fun of myself in the past about, I'm a single guy and, single guy living alone in an apartment, I'm a firm believer in it's okay to make fun of yourself, just don't go too far. But, again, the fact that some things in my life didn't really pan out remotely like they should have. My father is one of my nephews, and here I'm thinking, I'm just, me. I don't have a girlfriend or anything. I don't have any kids. I can't, give my father those kinds of memories. So, for a brief second, I left the room, tried to get my emotions together, which I did, and went down and, watched a little bit of TV. My brother actually has, all the streaming services like Netflix, Disney Plus, stuff like that. So, funny enough, I actually saw, no kidding, first time ever seeing, I talked about how good the Muppets Christmas Carol is. That last night was the first time I ever seen it all the way through. So, yeah, I finally saw another part of my Mount Rushmore of my Christmas holiday special. That was really good. And I also saw a little bit of the Scrooge McDuck Christmas Carol, too. That was great. Seriously, were it not for this whole depressing part, this video would be one gigantic Disney bomb, But anyway. So we put my nephews to bed. And my other nephew, had to go to bed. My father had to wake him up at, 8:30 to, feed him. And, we're watching the Muppets Christmas Carol. Everything's great. Everything. We ordered Neilio's Pizza, too, for dinner. Which, it was Neilio's. Of course, it was going to be good. And we're watching and I'm still watching. My father is taking a particularly long time to feed my nephew because my nephew was actually crying a lot last night. Like, literally for every time my father tried to calm him down, like when he tried to feed him again, that's when my nephew started crying again. It took like almost an hour for him to finally, calm down and, drink from the bottle. And it was like 10 o'clock by the time it was over. By that time, I was already gone to go get my mother from the airport. But one of my biggest, vices in terms of, I just can't keep it together is if I hear the sound of, a baby cry. Because it's a beautiful sound, but, it still got to me. But in the interim, in trying to calm down my nephew, my father sang this one song called Turalura, I think, an Irish, an old Irish lullaby. And good God, that song was just so beautiful. And, I told him that it was a beautiful song. And, my father said, when you were little, I sang that to you. And that's where it really got me. That's where it really got me. The reason why I was sad about my father holding any of my nephews for that matter, outside of the fact that, I don't have any kids of my own for, him to hold and whatever, is the fact that, one day, and I'm very well aware it's going to happen, but someday my father is going to be no longer with us. And yeah, I've made fun of my father, but, I busted his chops before, there have been times when, I just can't even deal with him anymore. But I make no quarrels when I say, when that day finally comes, I'm going to be a wreck no matter how I feel. In fact, what solely keeps me from being a wreck right now, seriously, I almost couldn't get out of bed this morning and get changed and ready to go for this video because I just felt so sad. The only reason why I was able to do it all was because at the very end of the night, and this was a late night, like almost midnight even, I got to spend time with my parents. And man, did I need that so bad. I'm cool. I'm cool again. This is perfectly normal. Again, emotions don't ask for permission to come, they just do. Just heard someone parking outside. that eased the tension down, didn't it? Great, now my nose is starting to run a little bit. Wow, this is getting emotional. Sometimes, unfortunately, I forget how lucky I am to know that, I'm still here and I do have people in my life who love and care about me. I just wish I didn't forget it sometimes. And yeah, I know, in terms of the whole, me being single and stuff, I know it's going to happen one day. I'll find, the right person to be with in life. And I say right person to keep it PC. I mean a woman, obviously, because, no offense, but, I am straight, I am legit straight. So, spending the rest of my life with a woman is what I would, want to do. So, I'll find, quote unquote, the right gal for, spend forever with. And, I can't help but feel happy for those who know that joy and know what love really is. And I'll be talking about this more in December. But I assure you, there was a very long period of time where, and yes, this does lead into the whole contemplations of suicide thing, where I was wholly and utterly convinced I will die not knowing what love and happiness are. And I still kind of struggle with that a little bit. But I know I'm still here. I trust that no matter what, life does go on. All I can do now is just be thankful for everything in my life I do have. I've got a mother and my father. I got a mother and a father who I love very much. And they love me very much. I have a sister and a sister-in-law. I have a sister, I can say that. I have a sister-in-law and a brother and 3 nephews who I also love very much, and vice versa. And on the off chance that any of my nephews sees this, or, my brother sees this, I want you to know that in the words of my grandfather, or your great-grandfather, Richard Greenhill, I am always going to be there to love and support you for all the days of your life. Or I'm going to be there for as long as possible, gosh darn it. Like, share, subscribe, and follow me on social platforms. Turn notifications on YouTube. I am very humbled I was able to make this video for you guys to watch and enjoy. I am hopeful that, you have a wonderful Sunday. We have football and stuff, so that's going to be great. And remember, if any of you guys ever want to, talk or chat, I'm always going to listen to what you have to say. I could probably use some of the time right now, to be honest. And I'm always going to have your back, just like I would hope you have mine. Take care, and in the words of my Ace Perspectives and Drugs teacher, make good choices. See ya.